Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I will tell you a new story for learning English. It is about love, dreams, and the power of true feelings. If you enjoy the story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more fun English learning stories. Let's dive in. True Love Story. In a small village, there lived a kind and hard-working girl named Sophie. She had warm brown eyes and long golden hair. Sophie worked in a little bakery with her parents. Every morning, she woke up early to bake bread and cakes. She loved the smell of fresh bread and the smiles of happy customers. Her family was not rich, but they were happy. Sophie loved to dream. She dreamed of love, adventure, and a beautiful future. She often sat by the river, watching the water flow and thinking about life. She believed that one day something wonderful would happen. One day, a young man came to the village. His name was Liam. He had dark hair, bright blue eyes, and a friendly smile. Liam was the son of a rich merchant from the city. His father sent him to the village to learn about business. Liam was different from other rich men. He did not look down on poor people. He liked the simple life in the village. He enjoyed walking in the fields, listening to birds, and talking to villagers. One afternoon, Liam visited the bakery. He bought a loaf of bread and some cookies. When he saw Sophie, he smiled and said, "Your bread smells amazing." Sophie smiled back and thanked him. Liam started coming to the bakery every day. He and Sophie talked a lot. They shared stories, laughed, and became friends. Sophie liked Liam's kindness, and Liam admired Sophie's hard-working nature. As days passed, their friendship grew stronger. They spent time together, walking by the river and watching the sunset. Sophie felt happy when she was with Liam. She started to wonder, is this the wonderful thing I was waiting for? Sophie and Liam continued to see each other in secret. Every afternoon, they met by the old oak tree near the river, away from the watchful eyes of Liam's parents. They talked about their dreams and hopes, wishing for a future where they could be together freely. "I wish my parents could understand," Liam said one day, holding Sophie's hand. "I love you, and I don't care about money or family status." Sophie smiled, though deep inside she was worried. "I love you too, Liam, but your parents will never accept me." Liam shook his head. "I don't need their approval. I will work hard, earn my own money, and then no one can tell me what to do." But things were not so simple. Liam's parents began to notice his absence. His mother, Lady Evelyn, was suspicious. One evening, she asked, "Liam, where do you go every afternoon?" Liam hesitated. "Just for a walk, Mother." Lady Evelyn frowned. "A walk? Every day? Tell me the truth." Liam took a deep breath. "I see Sophie. I love her." His mother's face turned pale with anger. "That poor girl? This is unacceptable. You will not see her again." His father, Lord Henry, entered the room. "Liam, if you continue this nonsense, we will send you abroad for business. You need to focus on your future, not some silly romance." Liam's heart pounded. "You can't control my life forever." But his parents were determined. The next day, they sent a letter to a business partner in another country, arranging for Liam to leave in a month. Sophie did not know about this plan. She waited by the oak tree, watching the river flow. Liam arrived, looking troubled. "Sophie," he said, his voice heavy, "my parents want to send me away. I have 1 month left." Sophie's eyes filled with tears. "No, what will we do?" Liam held her hands tightly. "We must run away together." Sophie gasped. "Run away?" "Yes. We'll go to another town, find work, and start a new life." Sophie hesitated. Leaving her family, her home, could she do it? I need time to think, Liam, she whispered. That night, Sophie sat with her grandmother, who was knitting by the fireplace. Grandmother, Sophie began, have you ever loved someone so much that you would leave everything for them? Her grandmother looked up, her eyes kind. Love is a beautiful thing, my dear, but true love is also patient and wise. Sophie sighed. What if the world doesn't want you to be together? Her grandmother smiled. If love is true, it will find a way. Sophie thought about these words all night. The next day she went to the oak tree. Liam was already there, his eyes full of hope. Sophie, he said, will you come with me? She looked at him, love and sadness in her eyes. Liam, I can't leave my grandmother. She needs me. Liam's shoulders dropped. Then what will we do? Sophie took his hands. We must find another way. We will not give up. Liam nodded. I will talk to my parents one last time. But when he returned home, his parents had already packed his bags. You leave next week, his father said. Liam clenched his fists. He would not give up on Sophie. Several years passed, and one day Liam returned to the village. He had changed. He was no longer the uncertain young man who had left. Now he was confident, strong, and determined. When he saw Sophie again, his heart pounded. She was still the same, kind, beautiful, and full of life. Sophie, I never forgot you, Liam said, taking her hands. I still love you. Do you still love me? Tears filled Sophie's eyes. Yes, Liam, I never stopped loving you. But your father, your life in the city, are you sure you want to stay here? I am sure, Liam said firmly. I have seen the world, earned money, and built a life, but none of it made me as happy as I was with you. Money isn't important. What matters is who I love. However, when Liam spoke to his father, Lord Henry, the old man still refused to accept Sophie. You still want to marry a simple village girl? He asked coldly. After everything we gave you? Liam met his father's gaze without fear. Yes, father, because love is worth more than wealth. Sophie, despite her joy, was still afraid. Liam, what if you regret it? Life here is not easy. It's not like the city. I know, Liam said with a smile, but I don't need an easy life. I just need you. Before they could speak more, dark clouds covered the sky. A storm was coming. The wind howled and heavy rain began to fall. Suddenly, a powerful gust of wind knocked down trees and tore the roofs off houses. The village was in chaos. Sophie's bakery was one of the buildings destroyed. She watched in horror as her small shop, the place where she had worked for years, collapsed under the storm. No, my bakery, she whispered. Liam didn't hesitate. We have to help everyone. He shouted. He ran through the village, helping people find shelter, carrying children to safety, and organizing the rescue efforts. His leadership and kindness inspired others. Even Lord Henry, watching from a distance, saw how much his son had grown. When the storm passed, the village was in ruins, but the people were safe. Liam stood among them, covered in mud and exhausted but smiling. Lord Henry approached him. For the first time there was no anger in his eyes, only pride. You have changed, he said quietly. I had to, Liam replied. Lord Henry looked at Sophie, then back at Liam. He sighed deeply. If this is your choice, then I will not stand in your way any more. Liam turned to Sophie, his heart full of hope. Sophie, will you marry me? With tears in her eyes, she smiled. Yes, Liam, 1,000 times, yes. Liam's father, Lord Henry, stood silently for a moment. He looked at his son, covered in mud but smiling. He looked at Sophie, who had tears in her eyes but was full of hope. Then he nodded. If this is what makes you happy, Liam, then you have my blessing. Sophie gasped in surprise. Liam's eyes widened. Father, are you sure? Lord Henry sighed. I was wrong. I thought wealth was the most important thing, but today I saw what truly matters. You have become a strong and kind man, and I see that Sophie loves you. That is enough for me." Tears ran down Sophie's cheeks. Liam smiled and hugged his father. "Thank you, Father." A few weeks later, the whole village gathered to celebrate Liam and Sophie's wedding. The sky was clear, the air was filled with the smell of flowers, and everyone was happy. Sophie wore a beautiful white dress. Liam stood proudly beside her. "I love you, Sophie," Liam whispered. "And I love you, Liam," she replied. They exchanged vows, and when the priest said, "You may kiss the bride," everyone cheered. The village danced, sang, and celebrated late into the night. But Liam and Sophie knew that their journey was just beginning. Together, they worked to rebuild the bakery. The villagers helped, and soon Sophie's little shop stood once again, but this time it was bigger and better. "We should do more," Sophie said one evening. "What do you mean?" Liam asked. "Many children in the village cannot read or write. What if we open a small school? We can teach them for free." Liam smiled. "That is a wonderful idea, Sophie. Let's do it." With Lord Henry's support, they built a small school next to the bakery. Sophie taught the children how to read and write, and Liam taught them math and history. The village became a better place because of them. Years passed, and Liam and Sophie's love only grew stronger. Their bakery was successful, their school helped many children, and their home was always full of warmth and laughter. One day, Lord Henry visited them. He watched the children reading and laughing. He saw Sophie baking bread with a smile on her face, and he saw Liam happier than ever. "I was wrong," Lord Henry admitted. "Happiness is not in gold. Happiness is in love and kindness." Liam and Sophie looked at each other and smiled. They had proved that love was stronger than anything, and they lived happily ever after. Thank you for watching. If you liked this story, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more English learning adventures. See you in the next story.